Hey, how you doing, everyone? This is Jonathan Coates, and in today's free training, I'm going to be talking about a copywriting formula called the Oath formula. And this is really convenient and interesting, and you won't really see much of it on there if you try to research as far as like Google Images and Google search results. You'll see a couple of stuff here and there, but the vast majority of these, even if you just type in Oath formula copywriting, you only see a couple of different websites that come up to give you an example. And even if you go to images, you won't really see much of anything other than just like general statements about copywriting or copywriting formulas in general. So I consulted with the affiliate marketing samurai, who's my AI infused GPT-4 assistant. And so we compiled this Google Docs that I want to share with you. And this is what we came up with. So I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to read it with you. And what's really interesting and convenient about this formula is it allows you to focus and talk to an audience specific no matter what stage they are in. So whether they're oblivious, they're apathetic, they're thinking, like they're considering their options, or they're like really struggling, like they're hurting. No matter what stage they're in, whether they're unaware of your product or they're completely familiar with it, the Oath formula allows you to speak directly to them at every different stage. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. And I also did find one article from Pro Copy Tips, so I want to share that with you as well. It's really good, and they got some good examples in here that I want to share with you. So let's go ahead and get started. In today's digital age, businesses face a constant challenge of creating compelling copy that resonates with their target audience. One thing that I want to say real quick about the Oath formula is it also applies to SEO. So as you know, with search engine optimization, people are constantly searching for different terms in regards to their industry or their problem or challenge, whatever it is. People go to the search engine and they look for something. So the Oath formula, especially when it comes to key phrase and keyword research, you can actually look for specific key terms that are related to that reader stage. And just real quick before I go on with this document, as an example, if we go back to this article here, for an example, people who are oblivious to an issue or just don't really know much about it or just I guess just slightly curious, a key term for these folks is why is crabgrass bad or tooth care. Why is crabgrass bad or tooth care? Because these people are oblivious. Apathetic would be yellow teeth. Like people are starting to kind of like they're indifferent, but they would type in yellow teeth. They're not really looking for a solution, but they're also not completely oblivious. They're aware, but they're kind of indifferent. Or do I need to get rid of crabgrass? It's kind of like, they're aware, they're a little indifferent, they're just kind of curious, so they just go ahead and type that in. So thinking, if they're actually considering their options, so they would go to the search engine and type in teeth whitening or how to remove crabgrass. These are the folks that are like actively looking for a solution. And then hurting, these are the folks that are kind of struggling a little bit. This is just an example stage, but why can't I kill my crabgrass? They're actually going through something with that crabgrass. And folks who type in white teeth guaranteed, they're hurting and they're looking for a solution for their teeth. So I just wanted to share that with you in regards to the SEO portion and the SEO value factor here. So let's get back to this document. As much content there is available online, it's essential to craft copy that stands out and speaks directly to the reader's needs and interests. The Oath formula is an effective strategy for creating audience-specific copy that targets different reader stages. The Oath formula is based on 4 different stages: oblivious, apathetic, thinking, and hurting. As I shared with you, each stage represents a different level of market awareness of your brand, product, service, or opportunity. By understanding where your reader is in the buying process, you can tailor your copy to their specific needs and interests. So let's go ahead and take a closer look now. Oblivious, at this stage, the reader has no idea about your brand or offer. They are unaware of their needs. And I highlighted and bolded certain text here so you kind of understand the general point of each step. So they are unaware of their need for your products or service. To target this audience, your copy should be attention grabbing and informative. So you want to use clear and concise language, something that educates them and lets them know of the challenge. In the previous copywriting formula, I talked about the problem, agitate, solve. This would be really good for people in that stage. You introduce them to the problem, let them know if they're not aware of it, or if they are aware, just agitate it a little bit and then introduce a solution. So this is really good for folks who are oblivious. So I'll go ahead and link that as well, the PAS formula. You want to use clear and concise language to explain your product and service and how it can benefit them. You want to highlight your unique selling points and demonstrate why your brand is the best choice for their needs. But first, you have to introduce the problem, agitate it, and bring to them the awareness that there is a need in the first place. So it's important. It's important to add that in there. So in regards to the apathetic, like the second stage, the reader is aware of your brand or the challenge or the product, but they're uninterested or they're just indifferent. They don't know the significance. They're not aware of just how important it is to get that fixed. So they may have heard of your product or service, but they have not seen the value in it. So to target this audience, your copy needs to demonstrate why your product or service is worth their attention. And this is why it's so important to understand your market beforehand, know who you're talking to, understand the conversation that's already being had in their head. That way you're able to naturally, seamlessly integrate yourself into that conversation. Highlight the features and benefits of your product or service that sets it apart from the competition, because they're already thinking about other different people out there that kind of comes off like you. And I say comes off like because, again, they don't really know the significance of the challenge or quite understand exactly in total what you're doing, because at this stage they're uninterested or indifferent. So now going to the next stage, which is thinking. At this stage, the reader has identified a potential need for your product or service. They are considering their options and researching different solutions. To target this audience, your copy should provide in-depth information about your product or service. You want to use case studies, white papers, and product demos to show how your brand can meet their needs, address any potential objections or concerns that they may have, and provide clear answers to their questions. So this is pretty straightforward. A lot of people jump into marketing at this stage. They just start selling from this stage. They assume everyone is at this stage right here, like they're already thinking about your product service. But this is actually a specific stage that the overall audience can be in alongside with the other stages. So if you're just talking about the general audience and you're putting a blanket statement over the entire market, these are the 4 different stages that are in. And most marketers start at this stage. But at this stage, they're considering their options and are actively looking for different solutions. Now, this is the stage more advanced marketers tend to focus on. You also see a lot of beginners at this stage too, as well, because they're following companies who actively target people who are in this stage. But it's extremely effective because these folks, a lot of times, they're desperate, and there's a high desperation value when it comes to their product and services. For an example, like bail bondsman, or when it comes to PE remedy or like erectile dysfunction, something that has like a underlying issue that needs to be addressed and fixed fast. At this stage, the reader has a problem that desperately needs to be solved. They are actively looking for a solution and are ready to take action. To target this audience, your copy needs to be persuasive and action oriented. Use urgency and scarcity to encourage them to take immediate action, because these folks are already having this conversation in their head. They're going back and forth with it. They're actually pacing. They're staring at the wall. They're constantly thinking. They're getting distracted by this while they're doing other stuff. So they're already having this conversation, and all you have to do is just kind of agitate it and just let them know the urgency and remind them and say, hey, you need to get that fixed, and here's a solution. And then add some scarcity to it if there is some scarcity. You don't want to just artificially create scarcity. So highlight the benefits of your product or service and how it can solve their problem quickly and effectively. By using the oath formula, you can create copy that speaks directly to your audience needs and interests. All right. So yeah, that's the oath formula. I just want to share that with you because it's a very great framework to keep in mind where your audience and your readers are at in different stages. So you don't want to just start, at the hurting stage for people who are oblivious, and you don't want to start at the apathetic stage for people who are thinking. You want to speak to them directly where they're at, and this is a great formula to sort of keep in mind, have this on your wall, and use as reference as you're going along with your search engine optimization as well as your copywriting efforts on the internet. All right. So yeah, by tailoring your copy to each reader stage, you can increase the effectiveness of your marketing efforts and drive more conversions. So whether your reader is oblivious, apathetic, thinking, or hurting, you can use the oath formula to create copy that resonates with their specific needs and interests. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, I highly recommend that you check out my website, jonathancoast.com. I talk about everything like this when it comes to generating traffic and increasing more sales. And be sure to subscribe to the channel and take a look at the tools and the resources below. I'll have this Google Docs that me and the Affiliate Marketing Samurai constructed and put together. So with that said, I will see you in the next video. See you then.